Greed and its children, innovation and hubris, those three concepts alone have been the driving force behind humanity's continued dominance over other species and the land that we inhabit today. But they too are the root of many of mankind's greatest tragedies. The thirst for more, whether it be raw resources, capital, or recognition, is at the heart of almost every catastrophic moral failure in human history. Sadly, today's story is no different. A tale of compounding tragedy in the face of adversity, only to be preyed upon by the deadly trio. Enter Toomgis, or as his family would once have known him, the loving father of two, Thomas Gizmus. You see, Tom was not always the Cronenbergian manifestation of sugar and sodium that you see before you today. No, his tale starts many calories ago in a minivan far, far away. Tom was a soft-spoken family man, a father of two children and a husband to a loving wife, doing his best to maintain a healthy lifestyle after a big move to the city to chase his dreams. He was always a health nut. From a very young age, he discovered the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle and wanted to spread that joy as much as possible. This led him to becoming one of the only nutritionists in his small town of 35,000 people. Seeing the need for a larger customer base, Gizmus took the risk to open his own practice in the city, and 3 years later, luckily it was all going very well. The family was happy, business was booming, and Tom was finally able to make a good living spreading good living. Things were pretty much perfect. That is, until tragedy struck and the great Whole Foods C&C avalanche of '08. Tom had barely even turned the corner to grab some kombucha when he had heard the screams. In an instant, his wife and children were gone, buried under a sea of cabbage and cauliflower, along with 14 other unlucky shoppers, gone in an instant. Survivors would go on to tell harrowing tales of desperately chewing until they had seen a glimpse of light and were able to scream for help. The incident proving so severe that it served as the basis for the landmark 2008 Fair Stacking Act, ensuring the structural stability of all vegetable-related displays, as well as allowing the government to read your texts? Wait, what? That's weird. I'm sure nobody is gaining anything from that at all. Anyway, Gizmus was lucky to have made it out alive with only a crushed lung and minor fractures after a brave shopper pulled him out of the shallow pile of chard that had collapsed onto him as he tried to reach his family. That unforgiving sea of green forever burned into his mind, the smell of chard filling his nostrils every night as he tossed and turned. Consumed with grief, Gizmus could no longer even stand the thought of leafy greens, which, believe it or not, proved pretty difficult for a nutritionist. He just couldn't bring himself to send his customers to where his family had met their doom, no matter how irrational he knew that fear was. Between his newly found phobia and constant doctor's appointments, Gizmus was left with no choice but to close his private practice and focus on figuring out the new direction of his life. But first, and much more pressingly, he needed to figure out just what he would do for food now that he couldn't look at 3/4 of his fridge and only had savings to live off of. Luckily, or unluckily for him, there was an AM/PM within wheelchair distance. Little did he know, that was the beginning of his end. That first bite of saturated fat, salt, and grease after so long filled him with a brief moment of happiness that he thought was no longer possible. But then, as quickly as that feeling was there, it was gone again in an instant. Gizmus was buying another hot dog. Caught in the vicious cycle of immediate joy, only to be followed by shame and self-disgust, he had quickly became an addict. And slowly but surely, Tom filled the void left by his family and career with cholesterol and cheese whiz. His savings drained away bit by bit, as the orders just kept getting bigger and bigger. Eventually running out of money entirely. On his now 12 hot dog per day diet, Gizmus was in a bind with no options left. The owner, seeing this, took pity on him and allowed a snack tab to be open on a 1-month repayment period. No interest, as long as he cleaned up his act and found some work to pay back the tab. The owner remembered Gizmus as a better man from past life and just wanted to see him return to that. Well, the month came and it went, and Tom had not paid back a cent. Contrary, the tab was now up to $8,428. Don't worry, we're almost at the point of our little story here. Remember that nasty family of greed, innovation, and hubris that I mentioned in the beginning? Well, that brings us to AMPM Corporate, who, at the time, had a crippling problem with market share. No matter what was tried, even making the stores smell 85% less like old hot dogs, the brand would, at best, stagnate. New and innovative ideas needed to be tried no matter the cost if they wanted to see their growth continue. You and I both know that them and their shareholders wanted to see that growth continue. This left the marketing team in a bit of a bind, and their way out was a madman by the name of Dr. Greasy Boyton. Dr. Greasy Boyton promised a mascot no one could ever look away from while embodying the true essence of snackology. And, well, he delivered. Left deeply in both medical and snack debt, as well as already consisting of 54% convenience store mustard, Gizmus was the perfect specimen for their twisted marketing scheme. An offer to clear out his snack debt, take on his medical debt, and perform a free life-saving procedure was just too good for him to turn down at this point. His options being either become homeless or have all of his debts cleared in one fell swoop. The decision was clear. Tom didn't even bother to ask what this new experimental procedure was a single time before the day had finally came. And it wasn't long before they were putting him into the machine from The Fly that is definitely real, that definitely exists, along with a honey bun. From this, Toomgis was born, cursed to roam store to store as a snack food chimera, promoting crappy Dodger Stadium hot dogs. His past, not but a distant, hazy memory. So, if you made it this far, first of all, you're awesome, so thank you. Glad you indulged me on that ride. But you're probably also wondering, what the hell am I even talking about? Am I watching someone have a long-form stroke right now? Well, the answer to both of those, first off, is no. As for what I'm talking about, I have a special place in my heart that goes to exceedingly strange advertisement campaigns. They've just always really, really fascinated me. Ever since I saw a monkey climb out of a trunk to assault a would-be car thief in between episodes of Dexter's Lab, I was hooked.
The Trunk Monkey Theft Retrieval System. Because sometimes getting your car back is simply not enough. Another revolutionary idea you'll only find at Suburban Auto Group.
Oh, I was hooked. The era I grew up in practically demanded that I was hooked, with shock advertisement becoming the new norm for a few years. There's just something special about imagining the meeting where something truly bizarre was pitched as a last-ditch effort from a marketing firm. Like, their veins bulging, eyes bugging out, while someone screams how Terry Tate office linebacker is the future, goddammit. No, Tony, I don't think you do understand. It's a puppy, and a monkey, and a baby. People will love it. Like it's some bizarro Mad Men scene. Attempting to relaunch their brand in 2016 and created their own large boy mascot. Named after their slogan, "Too much good stuff," Toomgis was created to give a fun and approachable face to their ads. Yes, I know what you are physically seeing with your eyes doesn't match with what I'm saying, but here we are. And I've got to be honest with you guys, despite how disconcerting and, well, horrifying his appearance is. Look at the honey bun hands with sausages on them. Look at it. Look at them. I mean, his cookie head shape clearly indicates a higher propensity to commit acts of violence. We call it the cookie gene. Despite all that, I still absolutely adore this big greaseball just going out there and living his best snacky life. Making the best of being a indentured homunculus cursed to roam D-tier gas stations cannot be easy. And don't get me wrong, it's an incredibly ineffective campaign. I literally haven't been inside of an AMPM in half of a decade, and I have no plans to whatsoever. This doesn't make me want to go shop anywhere when I see Toomgis up to his antics. It just makes me stop and say, what am I even doing right now? That being said, Toomgis is a very good boy that must be protected at all costs, lest we let Dr. Greasyboyton continue his mad experiments to reach peak marketing. So, I know this is a bit out of my normal, much more serious political wheelhouse, but I just wanted to make a fun video about something I enjoy. So, I hope you stick with me for this journey into the TCU, the Toomgis Cinematic Universe, as we take a look into some moments that speak to the core of Toomgis and make him the whimsical, philandering, greasy Lothario that he is. First and foremost, Toomgis is a kind soul that while living inside of an AMPM has had to rebuild his knowledge of the world from the ground up, even down to how to read and communicate. Despite such daunting setbacks facing him every day, Toomgis manages to maintain a positive outlook, making sure to bring humor and his trademark joviality along for the ride as he earnestly makes his way through life. And if that isn't just incredibly relatable, despite the memory loss from being turned into a Twizzler night terror, of course, then folks, I just don't know what is. We are all just trying our best to improve ourselves. Some attempts are better than others, however.
Oh, shush.
Just incredibly alarming stuff right out of the gate. Toomgis clearly has not had enough time to reacclimate to normal human behavior, his only thoughts being the sharing of snacks for AM/PM in an attempt to bring joy the way he knows how. And, as you can see, this man's reaction is one of pure shock, horror, and bewilderment as the snack giant approaches him, leading you to believe he's not used to seeing such monstrosities in the gas station wild. Which is absolutely the normal reaction to having this walk up to you in a store. You may be wondering, gee, does anyone else behave like a normal human upon meeting Toomgis?
Ah, Toomgis don't wear pants.
No. Just no. Your answer is no. I will not be commenting on what I just showed you whatsoever. Let's get back on track. See, this isn't just an ambush ad for the big guy in charge here. What we are seeing is likely to be Toomgis's first successful self-introduction, as sloppy as it may be. Just getting out of Greasyboyton's lab, Toomgis had only practiced scripted conversations and small interactions with the doctor and his assistants, as they attempted to acclimate him to his new life, making the importance of nailing this conversation that much higher. Months of hard work and dedication have led to the moment Toomgis force-fed this man a hot dog. This should have been an absolute disaster, but instead something miraculous happened.
Shush. Me, Toomgis. Me, too much good stuff. You, Alar?
It's Alan. My name's Alan.
While other, weaker souls would run in fear when Toomgis shambled over to force-feed them processed meats, our man Alan here stood his ground and bit that dog. He wasn't about to be ran out of anywhere by someone with a burger nose. Real Sigma male shit. Allowing the Toommeister we're good friends now, I'm allowed to call him that, his first chance to really interact with the outside world again. This is what real class solidarity looks like, folks, through and through. If a black man and indentured Cookie Daedra cannot work together, then I just do not know who can.
It's Alan. My name's Alan.
Toomgis loves Alan. Hugs.
Finally, at the end here, we see into the core of Toomgis, a loving, caring, and tender being that's driven to spread the flavors of a gas station, but deep down just wants people to be happy. Despite all of Dr. Greasy Boynton's maniacal efforts, the most human component of Toomgis did not escape him. The want to love and be loved in return. Speaking of being loved in return, did I forget to mention, Toomgis fucks. Oh, that's right. Toomgis definitely fucks. Goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus. Like, think about the amount that you fuck, add some numbers to it, then multiply that by 30. That's how much this man, or cookie, I guess, fucks. Honestly, this is the actual reason that we're even here right now. Me making a video about a gas station mascot, you half listening to a video about a gas station mascot while you're at work. That reason being, these ads about a snack demon living inside of a gas station are just incredibly horny sometimes with like little to no warning. And no, I don't mean Toomgis slowly force-feeding a man a hot dog or whatever that pants thing I just showed you was. Although, honestly, I've been in quarantine for a very long time, so catch me on a lonely Wednesday, I may be down to see where the night takes us. Just you, me, and a 48 ounce of sugar water down our pants and nothing but time, baby. No, what I meant is that Toomgis is a certified styling, profiling, hot dog roller riding, business class flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a burger. Woo! Now, of course, as everyone does, Toomgis definitely still has some kinks to iron out in his dating game, but that just comes from his straightforward nature. Well, that and him discovering Dr. Greasy Boynton's copy of The Game that he left in his desk drawer that can lead to some moments of, we'll be charitable and call it accidental necking.
Your eyes have bags. Toomgis help.
But we will see his skills not only improve greatly in the future, but Toomgis manages to power through here by reverting back to that helpful nature at his core. Quick aside, because trust me, we will get back to what a recovery that was. This is an actual phone number that at the time of this recording, you get this when you call it.
Hello, you reached Toomgis mailbox. You'll probably get Toomgis digits from TV. Just to be clear, Toomgis not ready for kids. Toomgis just looking to hang. Toomgis like donuts, animals, and medium-distance walks on beach. If interested, call Toomgis back later. Or just put vibe out. That worked too. Beep sound.
I legitimately do appreciate the little extra details in a project, especially when it's in something as innocuous as a gas station ad. It speaks to a certain level of passion and having fun with a project that I just really love. Like, you just know that the intern that had that idea originally still gets a chuckle out of it occasionally to this day, and I absolutely love that for them. Now, back to the absolutely omega Chad move we saw go down in gas station at 5 a.m. This is the definition of pure confidence. Men, take out a notepad and learn from Master Toomgis. Our man Toomey here has clearly been waiting at the coffee station he lives 10 feet from in the freezer section, mind you, all morning, waiting to try out his new coffee pickup idea, practicing on cup after cup to get that heart just right, only to immediately fumble the bag on the opening. And let's be real, telling someone they have baggy eyes out of nowhere was pretty rude. Turns out negging people, not great. But did he lose his frame and give up right there and then like many weaker men before him? No. Toomgis comes in for the immediate fumble recovery, confident enough in his buns to keep pushing through the best he can. He could go back to the freezer section and beat himself up over it, run the scenario through his cookie brain again and again and again and again, agonizing over that mistake. But instead, he chose to shoot his shot and see where it lands.
Toomgis help.
Thank you.
Toomgis digits. You call.
Maybe I will.
A resounding success that started the evolution of Toomgis into the love monster that he is today. All it took was a little bit of confidence and luck to send Toom on his path to success. We're going to skip forward just a year to see how far Toomgis' game has evolved, exclusively off of confidence and keeping it true to himself. We stan a high cholesterol king, folks. Oh, we stan.
Hey, do you know where the straws are?
No!
Thanks, big guy.
Now, Toomgis may have limited speech capacity and breeding ability, but he is no idiot when it comes to the world of gas station refreshments. He knows full and well that the straws are located directly behind her, across from the cups, in a haphazard pile that's rolling onto the floor currently, just as they are in every AM/PM across the nation. But as we all know, Toomgis is checking for people throwing out those vibes, baby, and could just sense it immediately before he had turned around. He could have just given her a bent plastic straw that has a crack in it. Again, an AM/PM staple. But instead, Toomgis chose greatness. Show her that not only is he a problem solver and a provider of drinking utensils made of sugar, but also showing that he is ready and willing to go through great lengths of pain just for her sipping pleasures. The evolution from you have bags under your eyes to a Caligula-esque feat proving his worth is just astounding, folks. Now, many sane individuals would argue that this was a horrifying display of devotion rooted in patriarchal thinking, but as we can see, Toomgis knows better than all of us mere mortals. That bag is already firmly secured, while all of us lessers are still recoiling from his screams of pain, proving that Toomgis is exceptional at picking up vibes and knowing exactly how to capitalize on that, no matter who it is putting those vibes out. Don't think you're safe if your significant other's with you when you head down to the gas station either. You may think you two are going in to get a few drinks on the way home, but you're actually getting homie is a divorce. Toomgis is the new Mr. Steal Yo Girl, through and through, with his irresistible chip waistline and aura of unshakable confidence, posing a serious threat to any monogamous relationship in his path.
Breakfast sandwiches.
Whether he means it or not, all it takes is your wife entering his aura and being offered any variety of gas station treats, and bam, just like that, she's as good as his. Toomgis is definitely aware of this too, even getting a little smug smirk going on in his most modern iterations.
Julia?
The heart want what the heart want.
I fucked your bitch, nigga. I fucked your bitch.
Look, just take this warning to heart. If you want to keep your fiancé, do not take them into an AM/PM under any circumstances, unless you want to end up like this guy, a honey bun cuck. What is the point of this video? Why am I even still here watching it? When is this fat dude going to make his point? Well, it's obvious, my sweet summer child. The grand point of this video is...
Toomgis!
Hey everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the video. Had a great time making it, even though it took a lot longer than I would have liked it to. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content, and let me know what you think of our high cholesterol king. Those of you who have been here for a while know that I typically do more stream clips and stuff, but I'm looking to possibly pivot my channel in this direction with the goal being bare minimum a video a month. Again, thank you so much for bearing with me. The writer's block is gone, so I'm back, baby. So please, look forward to much more edited, structured content in the future.